Are you eating what you've been told is healthy, whole grains, fruits, low-fat meals, and yet your weight keeps creeping up, your energy is crashing, and your blood sugar refuses to stabilize? Here's what's really going on inside your body. It's not just about calories. It's about hormones, specifically a powerful storage hormone called insulin. When insulin stays elevated, your body is locked in fat storage mode. You can eat less, exercise more, and still feel stuck. Because the real issue isn't how much you're eating. It's how your body is processing what you eat. Now, this is where the ketogenic diet becomes incredibly powerful. A properly designed ketogenic approach doesn't just help you lose weight. It helps lower insulin, retrain your metabolism, and restore your body's ability to burn fat for fuel. But here's the problem. Most people do keto wrong. They focus on cutting carbs, but they don't understand which foods actually heal the metabolism and which ones quietly sabotage it. So in today's video, I'm going to walk you through 20 of the most powerful ketogenic foods. Foods that don't just fit into keto macros, but actively support your liver, balance your hormones, stabilize blood sugar, and accelerate fat burning. We'll break this down step by step, like a whiteboard session. By the end, you'll understand which foods lower insulin the fastest, which foods repair metabolic damage, and how to build meals that keep you in fat-burning mode all day long. Because once you understand this, everything changes. Think of insulin as a lock on your fat cells. When insulin is high, that lock is closed. Your body cannot access stored fat, no matter how little you eat. But when insulin drops, that lock opens, and suddenly, your body shifts into fat-burning mode. Here's the mistake most people make. They think keto is just about low carbs. But the real goal is low insulin. And not all low-carb foods are equal when it comes to insulin. Here's what the research shows. Foods that are high in refined carbohydrates or sugars spike insulin quickly, but even certain hidden carbs or processed keto foods can trigger a response that keeps insulin elevated longer than expected. So what should you actually eat? Start with these foundational ketogenic foods that have minimal insulin impact. Whole eggs, rich in nutrients like choline that support liver fat metabolism, avocados, loaded with fiber and potassium, helping stabilize blood sugar, olive oil, a monounsaturated fat that improves insulin sensitivity, leafy greens, spinach, kale, extremely low in carbs, but high in micronutrients. Here's what's really happening inside your body when you eat these foods. Instead of spiking insulin, they create a stable metabolic environment. Your blood sugar stays flat, your pancreas stays calm, and your body gets the signal it's safe to burn fat. Now contrast that with dirty keto foods, like processed low-carb snacks. They may fit your macros, but they often contain inflammatory oils or artificial ingredients that stress the liver and disrupt insulin signaling. So the takeaway is simple, but powerful. Don't just eat low carb. Eat low insulin focus on whole, nutrient-dense foods that keep your metabolism steady and predictable. Let's clear up one of the biggest misconceptions in modern nutrition. Fat is not what makes you fat. In fact, when used correctly, fat is one of the most powerful tools to heal your metabolism, balance your hormones, and fuel your brain. Here's what's really going on inside your body. When you reduce carbohydrates and lower insulin, your body has to switch fuel sources. It moves away from burning sugar and begins burning fat, both the fat you eat and, more importantly, the fat stored on your body. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Your body is like a hybrid car. It can run on glucose, sugar, or fat, ketones. But most people are stuck in sugar burning mode because they eat constantly and keep insulin high. Keto flips that switch. And dietary fat? That becomes the clean, steady fuel that powers this new system. Now here's where people go wrong. They either fear fat and don't eat enough, leading to fatigue and cravings, or they eat the wrong types of fat, leading to inflammation and stalled progress. So let's talk about the top ketogenic fats that actually heal your body. Avocados, rich in monounsaturated fats and potassium, supporting heart health and electrolyte balance. Extra virgin olive oil helps improve insulin sensitivity and reduces inflammation. Grass-fed butter or ghee contains fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, E, and K2 coconut oil packed with MCTs, medium-chain triglycerides, which are rapidly converted into ketones by the liver. Fatty fish like salmon. Sardines, high in omega-3 fatty acids that reduce inflammation and support brain health. What the research shows is that these fats don't just provide energy. They actively improve metabolic flexibility, meaning your body becomes better at switching between fuel sources when needed. But here's the key principle. Fat should be used strategically, not endlessly. If your goal is fat loss, dietary fat should support your energy while still allowing your body to tap into stored fat. So don't drown your meals in fat. Instead, add enough to feel satisfied and stable. Some people undereat it and lose muscle, others overdo it and unknowingly slow down ketosis. So what's the truth? Here's what's really going on inside your body. Protein is essential for muscle repair, enzyme production, immune function, and metabolic health. But unlike fat, protein can also stimulate insulin, especially when consumed in excess. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Think of protein as a precision tool, not a bulk fuel source. Too little, and your body starts breaking down muscle, slowing your metabolism. Too much, and your body converts excess protein into glucose through a process called gluconeogenesis, which can raise insulin and reduce ketone production. Now, this doesn't mean protein is bad. It means it needs to be targeted and intentional. What the research shows is that moderate protein intake supports fat loss while preserving lean muscle, especially in a ketogenic state where your body is already relying on fat for fuel. So what are the best protein sources on keto? Focus on high-quality, nutrient-dense proteins. Eggs, a complete protein with the perfect amino acid profile. Grass-fed beef, rich in iron, B vitamins, and creatine for energy metabolism. Chicken, preferably pasture-raised. Lean, versatile, and easy to digest fatty fish. Salmon. Sardines, protein plus anti-inflammatory omega-3s. Organ meats, like liver, one of the most nutrient-dense foods on the planet. Here's the key principle. Protein is your metabolic anchor. It keeps you strong, stable, and prevents the metabolic slowdown that often happens with dieting. But the goal is not high-protein keto. The goal is adequate protein keto. A simple, practical guideline. Aim for moderate portions, enough to feel satisfied, but not stuffed. Combine protein with healthy fats to slow digestion and stabilize blood sugar. Avoid ultra-processed protein products. They often come with hidden additives that disrupt metabolism. When you get this right, something powerful happens. Your body maintains muscle, your metabolism stays active, and fat loss becomes more efficient, without the constant hunger. Now we need to talk about the most overlooked organ in fat loss and ketosis, your liver. Because here's the truth most people never hear. You don't burn fat in your stomach, you burn fat in your liver. Here's what's really going on inside your body. When insulin drops and fat is released from your fat cells, that fat travels to the liver. The liver then converts it into ketones, a clean, efficient fuel that powers your brain and body. So if your liver is sluggish, inflamed, or overloaded, you won't produce ketones efficiently. You'll feel tired, foggy, and stuck, and fat loss will slow down, no matter how strict your diet is. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Think of your liver as a metabolic engine. Fat is the fuel. Ketones are the energy output. If the engine is dirty or clogged, It doesn't matter how good the fuel is. You won't get performances. Now, what damages this engine? Excess sugar and refined carbs, processed foods and seed oils, alcohol, nutrient deficiencies. But here's the good news. There are specific ketogenic foods that actively repair and support liver function, making fat burning more efficient. Let's go through some of the most powerful ones. Egg yolks, rich in choline, essential for fat transport out of the liver, prevents fatty liver buildup. Leafy greens, spinach, arugula, support detox pathways and reduce oxidative stress. Cruciferous vegetables, broccoli, cauliflower, enhance liver detox enzymes. Garlic activates liver enzymes and supports toxin elimination. Turmeric contains curcumin, known to reduce liver inflammation. Apple cider vinegar may improve insulin sensitivity and digestion. What the research shows is that improving liver function directly enhances fat oxidation and ketone production, especially in individuals with insulin resistance. So here's your practical protocol. Start your day with water, plus a splash of apple cider vinegar. Include bitter or cruciferous vegetables daily. Don't skip egg yolks. They are metabolic gold. Avoid alcohol and processed oils as much as possible, and if this is helping you connect the dots. If you're starting to see that real fat loss is about fixing the system, not starving the body, consider subscribing. I break this down into simple, actionable steps every single day. Because once your liver starts working with you instead of against you, fat loss becomes predictable, energy becomes stable, and your metabolism starts to heal. They say, I tried keto, but I felt terrible, low energy, headaches, dizziness, muscle cramps. This is often called the keto flu. But here's what's really going on inside your body. It's not a carb withdrawal problem. It's an electrolyte deficiency problem. When insulin levels drop, which is exactly what we want on keto, your kidneys start releasing excess sodium and water. This is a natural and healthy process, but it comes with a consequence. You lose sodium, potassium, and magnesium rapidly, and these minerals are critical for nerve signaling, muscle contractions, energy production, heart rhythm stability. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Think of electrolytes as the electrical wiring of your body. You can have the best fuel in the world, fat, ketones, nutrients. But if the wiring is faulty, the system won't run properly. That's why people feel weak, foggy, or even anxious when electrolytes drop too low. Now here's the solution. You don't need more carbs, you need more minerals. Let's go through the top ketogenic foods that restore electrolyte balance. Avocados, one of the richest sources of potassium, leafy greens, spinach, Swiss chard, packed with magnesium and potassium bone broth, loaded with sodium, collagen, and trace minerals, nuts and seeds, almonds. Pumpkin seeds, excellent magnesium sources. Sea salt, a simple but powerful way to replenish sodium. What the research shows is that maintaining proper electrolyte balance significantly reduces keto adaptation symptoms and improves energy levels, especially in the first few weeks. So here's your simple daily protocol. Add a pinch of high-quality salt to your water once or twice a day. Drink bone broth regularly. Especially during fasting or early keto adaptation, include potassium-rich foods like avocado daily. Consider magnesium supplementation before bed for better sleep and recovery. And here's the key takeaway. If you feel bad on keto, it's not the diet, it's the imbalance. Fix the minerals, and everything changes. Your energy stabilizes, your brain clears, your body adapts faster. Now we need to talk about a silent problem that's holding a lot of people back. It's called dirty keto. And this is where people technically follow the rules, low carbs, high fat, but still don't see results. They stall, they feel inflamed. Their energy becomes unpredictable. Here's what's really going on inside your body. Not all keto foods are metabolically equal. You can hit your macros perfectly, and still damage your metabolism if the quality of your food is poor. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Imagine putting cheap, contaminated fuel into a high-performance engine. Yes, the engine might still run, but over time it builds residue, loses efficiency, and eventually breaks down. That's exactly what happens with low-quality keto foods. Now let's look at the biggest culprits. Processed keto snacks, bars, cookies, and packaged foods with artificial sweeteners, industrial seed oils, soybean, corn, canola, highly inflammatory and easily oxidized. Processed meats, often loaded with preservatives and hidden sugars, artificial sweeteners, can disrupt gut health and insulin response in some individuals. What the research shows is that chronic inflammation and gut dysfunction can directly impair insulin sensitivity, meaning your body becomes less efficient at burning fat, even in ketosis. So, yes, you can be in ketosis and still be metabolically unhealthy. That's the hard truth. Now, here's the shift. Clean keto versus dirty keto. Clean keto focuses on whole, unprocessed foods, natural fats, olive oil, butter, animal fats, high-quality proteins, low-toxin vegetables. Dirty keto focuses on convenience over quality, processed substitutes, artificial ingredients. So here's your practical filter when choosing foods. Ask yourself, did this come from nature or a factory? Read ingredient labels. If there are more than 5-6 ingredients, be cautious. Prioritize freshness and simplicity over keto branding. Because at the end of the day, your body doesn't recognize keto. It recognizes chemistry. And the cleaner that chemistry is, the better your hormones function, the better your liver performs, and the easier fat loss becomes. Now let's bring everything together, because knowledge without execution doesn't change your body. Up to this point, you've learned how insulin, fat, protein, liver function, electrolytes, and food quality all work together. Now I'm going to give you something practical. A clear list of 20 powerful ketogenic foods and how to actually use them in your daily life. These are not just keto-friendly. These are metabolically therapeutic foods. Foods that lower insulin, support your liver, stabilize energy, and accelerate fat burning. Datix, the 20 top keto foods, let's group them so you can easily apply them. Healthy fats, fuel plus hormone support, avocados, extra virgin olive oil, coconut oil, MCT oil, grass-fed butter, or ghee, high-quality proteins, muscle plus metabolism. Eggs, especially yolks, grass-fed beef, pasture-raised chicken, salmon, sardines, organ meats, liver carb vegetables, fiber plus liver support, spinach, kale, broccoli, cauliflower, zucchini, electrolyte and mineral support, bone broth, almonds, pumpkin, seeds, metabolic boosters, and functional foods. Garlic, turmeric. Now let's turn this into a simple daily blueprint. Because consistency beats perfection. A simple keto day, whiteboard style, morning, optional fasting window, water plus pinch of sea salt, black coffee or tea, optional, add apple cider vinegar if tolerated. This helps lower insulin and extend fat burning from overnight. First meal, break the fast, eggs cooked in butter, sautéed spinach or zucchini, nasuf avocado on the side. This combination stabilizes blood sugar and fuels your brain. Midday meal, dast grilled chicken or beef, large salad with olive oil. Add pumpkin seeds for minerals. Now you're feeding muscle and maintaining energy without insulin spikes. Evening meal, salmon or sardines, dye steamed broccoli or cauliflower, drizzle olive oil or add butter. This supports recovery, reduces inflammation, and improves sleep quality. Optional add-ons, bone broth for electrolytes, magnesium at night for sleep and muscle recovery. Here's the key principle to remember. Simple meals, clean foods, consistent patterns. You don't need complexity. You need metabolic alignment. Let's bring this all together because this isn't just about a diet. This is about understanding how your body actually works. Here's what we uncovered today. When insulin stays high, your body stays stuck in fat storage mode. When insulin drops, your body regains access to its most powerful fuel, stored fat. And the foods you choose determine which state you live in. We talked about how the right fats fuel your brain and stabilize hormones. How protein, when used correctly, protects your metabolism without spiking insulin. How your liver acts as the central engine of fat burning and ketone production. Why electrolytes are the missing link behind energy, focus, and avoiding keto fatigue. And why food quality, not just macros, determines whether your metabolism heals or struggles. But most importantly, you now have a clear, practical system, 20 powerful foods, simple daily structure, and a deeper understanding of what's really going on inside your body. So here's your challenge. Don't try to change everything overnight. Instead, pick one change from today. Maybe you remove processed keto snacks. Maybe you add electrolytes. Maybe you build your first clean keto meal. Then observe, track your energy, your hunger, your mental clarity. Because when you start working with your biology instead of against it, fat loss becomes easier, energy becomes stable, and long-term health becomes achievable. And if this added value, if this helped simplify something that once felt confusing, make sure to like the video and subscribe. Join a community of people who are not just chasing weight loss, but are rebuilding their metabolism naturally.